Nice to be here again. And I was thinking of rearranging everything so you could see a different background from me, like the outdoors, out my window. But then I realized it's kind of complicated to arrange, especially with harmonium. So then I decided just to keep the way it is and tell you of my good intentions. As if it happened, yeah. So you can just imagine. Here, we'll do something radical. It's okay. There, those are the windows. There are trees outside the windows. And there's also Guan Yin. There's Guan Yin is a popular goddess in China. She's considered to be the feminine form of Avalokiteshvara. Now you're going to ask, who's Avalokiteshvara? The male form of Guan Yin. Avalokiteshvara is one of the bodhisattvas of Buddhist tradition. I was just reading a purport from Srila Prabhupada today, Canto 2, Chapter 6, in which Srila Prabhupada is speaking favorably about Buddhism. He was putting into one category Buddhism, Shankarites, and the Buddhists, the Shankarites, and the Vaishnavas. So category with respect to what? With respect to teaching the culture of celibacy. So they all have traditions of monastic life, of something like brahmacharya, and so on. And I remember many years ago, this would have been 97. I know, that's ancient history. 1987, maybe we should turn on this light too. Bottom. 1987, I traveled, I visited Thailand together with the late Kshetra Swami Maharaj, and together we were with Bhaktivinoda Swami. And we visited some monasteries, Buddhist temples and monasteries. And one thing interesting we noticed is a lot of monks, young monks, Buddhist monks. And then we heard that this is a standard program in Thailand, not Taiwan, but Thailand, that sort of like military service, all the young men become monks for a certain period of time, I think 2 years. So it was kind of like that, kind of like military. And I thought, wow, that's really amazing. This is a nice principle. And of course, we see with the Mormons, the Christian Mormon church, they do a similar thing with their young men. They have a 2-year period when they travel and preach in pairs. They dress up in suits and they go door to door. We've all seen them. And they're always very nice, very polite. Why was I talking about? Oh, because I was talking about Guan Yin. So Guan Yin is, we have this nice murti of Guan Yin. And she is considered in China a sort of divinity of compassion. So I have her murti here, and she is pouring from a vessel, from a vase, sort of pouring out, I don't know, liquid mercy. There are different forms also of Avalokiteshvara. Ava means down, Lokita, seen. So looking down, he is looking down with compassion. The Lord who looks down with compassion. And one form of Avalokiteshvara, he has, and also she, I think they have it in China as well, Guan Yin, form where he or she has 11 heads, kind of stacked on top of each other, and 1,000 arms. And the 1,000 arms are, they're like this, and they're all giving mercy. Yeah. Okay, so Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhadan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We'll begin with song number 5 of Atma-Nivedana, of Saranagati, of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Atma-Nivedana, or yes, Atma-Nivedana, offering oneself to the Lord. Another declaration. Let's read the translation first. First verse says, "Nothing remains mine. Father, friend, brother, you are even these to me." Second verse, "Those whom I call friends, wife, sons, and daughters are all your servants and maidservants. Whatever care I take for them is only as it relates to you." 3, if I continue to maintain my wealth, family members, home and wife, it is because they are yours. I am a mere servant. 4, for your service, I will earn money and bear the expense of your household. 5, I know neither good nor bad. I merely serve. I am but a watchman who guards the properties in your household. The exercising of my senses, number 6, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, is done according to your desire. And last verse, I no longer do anything for my own pleasure. Bhaktivinoda says, your happiness is the essence of everything. Okay, let's see. We have again what I understand to be a payar meter here. When I was growing up, ever since I can remember, in our house, we had a piano, an upright piano, and we had a Hammond organ. This was quite good quality Hammond organ, electric. I don't think it was electronic. It had 2 registers. My mother would play. She was quite good. She would play in her church, and she would play sometimes she would play live music in the local ice skating rink. Yeah. She was also an ice skater, figure skater. She was, I mean, certainly nowhere near the real experts, but she was she could do these, going backwards in circles and making all kinds of turns and such. So there was always this organ, and being a military family, my father was in the officer in the military, so it was kind of expected. There was a fair amount of social life. People in the military would invite to their house, and then we would invite them to our house. My parents would invite them, which I think was quite some austerity, kind of an austerity for my mother. She was not so much into the social life. But whenever a new set of guests would come, my father's favorite activity was to demonstrate the organ, how it works, and how you get all different sounds from the organ, because, it was a bit complicated. I just remembered that now. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Amara Bolite Prabhu Hare kichu na tumi-i āmāra mātra pitā-bandhu-bhāi Amara Bolite Prabhu Hare kichu na tumi-i āmāra mātra pitā-bandhu-bhāi Bandhu dārā sutā tava dāsī seto sambandhe sabe āmāra prayās tava dāsī sambandhe sabe āmāra prayās dhana jana grihe dārā tomara boliya rakakori ami mātra sevaka hoyiya dhana jana griha dārā rakakori ami mātra sevaka hoyiya Tomara karjer tore uparjibodan Tomara sāre-vyaya koribo-baha Tomara karjer uparjibo Tomara sāre-vyaya koribo-baha bhālo-manda nahi jani seva mātra kari tomara saṅsāre ami aya-praharī bhālo-manda nahi jani seva mātra kari tomara saṅsāre ami aya-praharī Tomara ichai mor indriya-cālanā Shravana darshana grana bhojana-vāsanā Tomara ichai mor indra Shravana darshana grana bhojana-vāsanā nija-sukha lagi kichu nahi koriya Bhaktivinoda Bolite tava sukha-sār nija-sukha lagi kichu nahi koriya Bhaktivinoda Bolite tava sukha-sār Amara Bolite Prabhu Hare kichu na tumi-i mātra pitā-bandhu-bhāi Amara Bolite Prabhu Hare kichu na tumi-i mātra pitā-bandhu-bhāi Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Haribo. So again, the verse with a little explanation of some of the Bengali. Nothing remains mine, father, friend, brother, you are even these to me. Amar, Bolite, Prabhu, kichu nai. This kichu nai is a common expression in Bengali songs. No more of any. Kichu, any, are, more, nai, not. Amar, of course, means mine. In Braj Boli, I think it is, Maithili. Bolite, so speaking Amar, saying mine, never again, O Prabhu, O Master. Tumi-i Amar mātra, pitā-bandhu-bhāi. To me, you, and then this e, additional I at the end, tumi-i, is a kind of emphasis. So, verily, you are the only Amar. Mātra means only. You're the only one to whom belong pitā-bandhu-bhāi. My father, my friends, my brother that I'm calling Amar, they're actually yours. Those whom I call friends, wives, sons, and daughters are all your servants and maidservants. Bandhu, dārā. Bandhu is friend, dārā is wife, suta, son, sutā, daughter, tava, dāsī, dās. How does he say it here? They're your servants and maidservants. Yeah, dāsī, dās. Say, and there we get also this, it's actually S-E, and then with an added I is emphasizing again. So that, but particularly that. Sei, to, sambandhe, sabe, Amar, prayās. Whatever care I take for them is only as it relates to you. We know the word sambandhe, relation. So in relation, and prayāsa, we also may know this word from atyahara prayāsascha prajalpo niyamagraha. Things to not overdo, to not obstruct our bhakti. Prayāsa, over endeavor. Here, he simply uses it as endeavor, prayās, whatever is my effort, Amar prayās, that's all in relation to sambandhe, just to you, just to that. Say. And the third line, if I continue to maintain my wealth, family members, home, and wife, it is only because they are yours. I am a mere servant. Dhana, jana, griha, dārā, tomar, bolite, raka, koryami, mātra, sevaka, hoya. Okay, bolite would usually be the gerund, having said, but in the translation, it's more like subjunctive, if, I would say, tomar. So if I'm continuing raka, if I continue to maintain raka kori, then mātra, again, only, it's as being a sevaka, a servant. That's my only purpose. Ami matro sevakoya. I have become only a servant. I'm keeping all of these things only as your servant. Number 4, for your service, I will earn money and bear the expense of your household. Tomar karjer, of your service. Tore, now we get that familiar form, your, of you. Uparjibodan. Uparjana in Sanskrit, I looked it up, can mean gathering or collecting or earning. So dhan means wealth. Uparjibo, I will earn wealth. Tomar sāre-vyaya koribo vahan, and I will carry vahana. We have that word in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 22, maybe. Yoga kshema vaham yaham. Krishna says, I carry yoga kshema, your well-being, basically. And it says in the dictionary to the word kshema that this is a question you can ask to a Vaishya. How's your yoga kshema? It's an appropriate question to ask. Fifth verse, I know neither good nor bad. Bhālo-manda, nahi jani. Seva mātra kori, I only know service. I merely serve. I am but a watchman. Tomar sharayami, aya-praharī. Again, I looked it up. Praharī, not praharī, but praharana. It actually means striking. So a guard is someone who strikes someone who is coming to cause trouble. But it can also mean removal, which I thought could be interesting here in relation to Vishaya, because Vishaya can also mean sense objects. So I remove sense objects. I remove sense gratification. So a praharī is a person who does praharana, just as a yogi is one who does yoga. And bhālo-manda. So we have in Chaitanya Charitamrita that nice verse, Dvaite Bhadra Bhadragyan Shab Mano Dharma. E bhalo, e manda, e shab brahm. Bhalo, bhalo, e bhalo, khub bhalo. Huh? Sugopi is nodding. Yes, this is very good. Bhalo-manda. Manda means, we know this word also can mean slow. Here it means bad. Manda sumanda matayo, characteristics of the age of Kali. Bhalo-manda nahi jani. I don't know I don't make this distinction good and bad. Why? Because I'm just your servant. I'm just your guard. I'm guarding your household. So I'm taking care of what is yours. Tomar ichai, more indriya-cālanā. The cālanā, the exercising of indriya, of my senses, mora indriya-cālanā. Tomar ichai is done according to your desire. Shravana, darshana, grana, which would be grahana in Sanskrit. Bhojana-vāsanā. So some examples: hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting. Bhojana, of course, means eating. Vāsanā, here I guess means touching. And finally, nija-sukha lagi. I no longer do anything for my own pleasure. Bhaktivinoda says your happiness is the essence of everything. Sukha-sār, tava sukha-sār. So this can be a prayer to remember during this next week as you're chanting Hare Krishna and seeing picture or deity of Krishna. You can say tava sukha-sār. Your happiness is the essence. Your happiness is everything. Nija-sukha lagiya. My own happiness, kichu nahi kor-ar. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not interested. It's not relevant. Bhaktivinoda Bolite, his signature line, Bhaktivinoda says, tava sukha-sār. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Show and tell, anyone?
Guru Maharaj, we have only messages from Sadhu-bhavan because Prabhu, Kalganta Prabhu just canceled because he's away today.
Sorry, who do we have? Oh, Sugopi Tungavidya. Okay. Oh yes, you're going to sing for us.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my pranams to you and to all the devotees. Yes. Yes, Radha Ashtami is just approaching very soon, in another 3 days. So I just listened to this tava on Facebook. Bhakti Damodar Maharaj was singing. And I thought that I searched for it and I liked it, and I thought that to present that. And just today morning, I came to know, like, it's out of my calendar now that today is Ganesh Chaturthi. So I thought that, yeah, we have time. So, yeah. So it will be good idea if I can, like, we can remember Lord Ganesha also for his contributions to our devotion. We have Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavatam written by him. Vyasadeva was narrating. So this prayer from Brahma Samhita, you all must be knowing. So this is text 50 of Brahma Samhita. Yadapada pallava yugam vinidhaya kumbha dvande pranama samaye saganadhiraja vighnana vihantumalam asya jagatrasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head, in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds. The purport is very short, but it's nice. The power of destroying all obstacles to mundane prosperity has been delegated to Ganesha, who is the object of worship to those who are eligible to worship him. He has obtained a rank among the 5 gods as Brahma, possessing mundane quality. The self-same Ganesha is a god in possession of delegated power by infusion of divine power. All his glory rests entirely on the grace of Govinda. Few things as you know, the word Ganesha, like he's called Ganesha. I just read an article just some time back written by Stephen Knapp at ISKCON Desire Tree. So he writes about Ganesha. This name Ganesha comes from Gana Isha. So he is the Lord of our living entities. Like it has been given him as a designation. It was a kind of race between him and Kartikeya. Kartikeya challenged Ganesha. So let's let's go around the universe and let's see who can complete the round going around the universe. So Kartikeya started on his peacock Vahan, and Ganesha was definitely very intelligent. So Ganesha, instead of, like, he was also a bit lazy and he's heavy also. So he's intelligent, he knows what to do. So he circumlates Shiva and Parvati, his parents. And Shiva and Parvati being blessed and all the gods were very happy. So then he got his name Ganesha, Gana-isha. And then there's another story of how Ganesha came into being. It was Parvati who really desired a very loyal servant. In fact, she was thinking, let me have a very loyal son. Because once she had given some work to Nandi, like to take care when she was taking bath. So Nandi was more loyal to Shiva, so allow Shiva to get in, though it was instructed by Parvati not to allow anyone inside. So she was a bit morose, and she thought that why don't I create a loyal servant of mine or a son of mine? And from the body of like from the sandal paste and turmeric on her body, she makes a beautiful idol and then puts life into it. And so Ganesha comes into existence. And then when Shiva, the same incident happens, Parvati says, don't let anybody in while I'm bathing. And Shiva comes, and Ganesha doesn't know that Shiva is his father. So they have a fight, and Ganesha couldn't win, and Shiva chops off his head. And so then Parvati is really angry regarding this, and then she then seeing her anguish and disappointment, Lord Shiva says that I will bring him back to life. Whomever I see first while searching for a head for him, I will put that head on Ganesha and bring him back to life. And Shiva practically means that like he comes upon an elephant, and so Ganesha has this elephant trunk, like elephant head as his the elephant head on him. And Ganesha is also known as Ganapati. His Pati is the Lord of all the Ganas. Then actually Ganesha we find on every temple, like as we enter the temple, so he bestows his blessings so that we can do our devotion inside the temple nicely. So he's the first deity we encounter as we go inside any of the Hindu temples. He's invoked first by like any auspicious event. He's invoked first, and to our very relevance, his contribution in writing Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, I have been to the place where Ganesha was writing. The place is called Mana, a little further from Badrinath. And to our amazement, the seat of Ganesha, the rock where Ganesha was sitting, is quite further from where Vyasdev was sitting. So I couldn't really understand that. Probably my guess is that probably they were very big in size. So it might be around not less than 100 meters like apart where Ganesha was sitting and Vyasdev was narrating. And in fact, I read in this article, very interesting thing, that Ganesha's one trunk, like his one trunk is, he doesn't have the full trunk, it is cut off. So he wrote with the cut off trunk, the Mahabharata, that I came to know through this article. So some nice, interesting things I just came to. Yeah, he also says that Ganesha has 4-hand form sometimes, and in his 4-hand, one is noose or rope. So that is to pull the devotees near to the truth, and acts to cut their attachments, because attachment is the reason for our sorrow in this world. So, and in one hand, he's having a rice bowl that is his blessings, like he offers this to his devotees who are very much like in devotion, and another hand is for blessing them. So these nice things, this cute and nice deity of Ganesha. Yeah. And their presentation is Shri Shri Radha Kripa Kataksha Stava Raja. This is an appeal to Srimati Radharani from the Udharvam Naya Tantra. Basically, all these days I had that notion of Tantra being like something very materialistic and quite tamasic. I never tried to venture into the subject of Tantra. Then when I read a little about it, I was quite amazed. I was reading someone's blog, and yeah, it was very nicely written that Tantra is divided into three. There is Dakshina, there is Vama, and there is Madhyama. So Dakshina Tantra, generally, it's like they depict the three modes, like they are according to the three modes. So Dakshina Tantra is all in Sata Guna. In fact, from Dakshina Tantra, we have many of the beach words, like beach mantra words, like Klim and Shroom, and Shroom is for Narsingadev. So these interesting things I came to know. And Vama Tantra is very tamasic. It deals with, I didn't note it down, like deals with 4 or 5 kind of Ks, like, no, M's, Mamsa, and like Mamsa means non-vegetarian thing. And it's very tamasic, and probably it's more to do with, of course, Lord Shiva is like, he doesn't consume non-veg, but yeah, probably because he has this bit of tamas inside him. So, and this Madhyama is Rajas, like so it's all ritualistic things in Tantra. So here I present Sri Radha Kripa Kataksha Stavaraja. Munindra Vrinda Vandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Vaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Vrajendra Bhanu Nandini Vrajendra Suno Sangati Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Ashoka Vriksha Vallari Vitana Mandapasite Prabhala Vala Pallava Prabharungari Komade Varabhaya Sfurat Kare Prabhuta Sampadalaye Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bhangura Bhuram Svabhipramam Sasvapramam Drikanta Bana Patangane Nirantaram Vashikrita Pratiti Nandanandane Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Tatit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prabha Prashasta Koti Saradindu Mandale Vichitra Chitra Sanchara Chakora Savalochane Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Madon Madati Yovane Pramodamana Mandite Priyangura Nuragaranjite Kala Vilasha Pandite Ananya Dhanya Kunjaraja Kama Keli Kovite Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Ashesha Hava Bhava Dhira Hira Hara Bhushite Prabhuta Shatas Kumbha Kumbha Kumbhi Kumbha Shustani Prashasta Mandahasya Churna Purna Shokya Sagare Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Mrinala Vala Vallari Taranga Ranga Dolate Latagra Lasya Lola Nila Lochana Valokani Lalal Lulan Milan Manokya Mukta Mohanashite Kada Karishasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhanjanam Suvarna Mallikanchita Trirekha Kambhu Kanthage Trisutra Mangali Guna Triratna Deepti Deepti Hiti सलोलनीलकुन्तला प्रसूनगुच्छगुम्फिते कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभञ्जनम् नितम्बबिम्बलम्बना पुष्पमेखलागुने प्रशस्तरत्नकिङ्किणी कलापमाध्यमञ्जुले कर्निन्दा सुण्डदण्डिकावरोह सौभगोरुखे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभञ्जनम् अनेकमन्त्रनादमञ्जुनुपुररावशाखला सामचाराजहंसवंशनि निवनाति गौरवे विलोलहेमवल्लरी विदम्बिचारुचङ्क्रमे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभञ्जनम् अनन्तकोटिविष्णुलोके नाम्रपद्मजार्चिते हिमाद्रिजापुलोमाजा वृचिञ्चजावराप्रदे अपार सिद्धिरिद्धिदिग्धसत्पदाङ्गुलीनखे कदा करिष्यसि मां कृपाकटाक्षभञ्जनम् माखेश्वरी क्रियेश्वरी स्वधेश्वरी सुरेश्वरी त्रिवेद भारतीश्वरी प्रमाणशाश्वनेश्वरी रामेश्वरी शमेश्वरी प्रमोदकाननेश्वरी व्रजेश्वरी जाधिपेशिराधिके नमस्तुते इति मामद्भुतं स्तवं निशम्य भानुनन्दिनी कारुत शान्ततां जनां कृपाकटाक्षभञ्जनम् भवेत् तदेव सञ्चिता त्रिरूपकर्म नाशनं भवेत् तदा व्रजेन्द्रसूनो मण्डलप्रवेशनाम् रक्षायां च शिष्ठायामयां दशाम्यां च विशुद्धहीति एकादशं त्रयोदशं य पाठेत् साधका शुद्धि यं यं कामयते कामां तं तमाप्नोति साधका राधा कृपा कटाक्षेन भक्ति स्यात् प्रेमलक्षणा उरुधग्निनाभिदग्ने हृदये कान्तधग्नके राधाकुण्ड जले स्थिताय पाठिते साधका शताम् तस्य सर्वथा सिद्धि स्यात् वाक्सामर्थ्य तथा लभेत् ऐश्वर्यं च लभेत् साक्षात् दृशा पश्यति राधिकम् तेन स तत्क्षणादेव तुष्टा दत्ते महावरम् येन पश्यति नेत्राभ्यां तत्प्रियं स्वास्यां सुन्दरम् नित्यलीला प्रवेशां च ददाति श्रीवचेन्द्रधीपता अतः परातरां प्रथ्यां वैष्णवस्य च विद्यते इति श्रीमदुद्धर्वण्ये श्रीराधिकाया कृपा कटाक्षस्रोतं सम्पूर्णम्। I will say the word meaning of these.
Let's see. Well, how about just of 2 or 3 verses?
Okay. Yeah, I will do the first 2 and the last 2 because last
Okay.
2 are also very significant.
Okay.
O goddess, worshipped by the king of sages, O goddess who removed the sufferings of the 3 worlds, O goddess whose face is a blossoming lotus, O goddess who enjoys pastimes in the forest, O daughter of Vrishabhanu, O companion of Raja's prince, when you will cast your merciful sidelong glance upon me, O goddess staying in vine cottage by an ashoka tree, O goddess whose delicate feet are as splendid as red blossoms, O goddess whose hand grants fearlessness, O abode of transcendental opulences, when will you cast your merciful sidelong glance upon me? That sadhaka, this is text 1617, that sadhaka who recites this tava 100 times while standing in the waters of Sri Radhakunda up to his thighs, navel, chest, neck, will attain complete perfection in the 5 goals of human existence, namely dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and prema. He also will attain the power by which everything he says will come true. He becomes very powerful and opulent due to attaining transcendental majesty. And he gets to meet Sri Radhika face to face, seeing her even with his present eyes. Sri Radhika becomes so pleased that she instantly bestows a great benediction on the devotee, which is that he sees her beloved Shyam Sundar with his own eyes. Then the Lord of Vrindavan grants the devotee entrance into his eternal pastimes. Genuine Vaishnavas hanker for nothing beyond this. Thus ends Sri Radhika Kripa Kataksha Srutam found in Uddhara. Manya Tantra. Yeah, I found another one interesting thing is that, like the gopis, the beach mantra, aim stands for Saraswati Devi. And it's written that that out of the 8 gopis of Lord Krishna, the 8 prime gopis of Lord Krishna, 3 are 3 of them, they origin they are part of the goddess Saraswati. So this was also quite interesting. There are a few more things, yeah, but yeah, I want to pause now. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Radha Kripa Kataksha. The merciful sidelong glance of Radha is desired. Kata Aksha, sidelong glance. And all we have to do to get all of this, according to this, these verses, is recite these verses, which are the song proper, the prayer proper is 12 verses, I see. And then the rest is sort of Palashruti. So we just have to recite, we have to just go to Radha Kund and stand in Radha Kund and chant this prayer 100 times. Nice. Okay, thank you for preparing us for the appearance of Srimati Radharani this coming Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. I'll be giving a talk on tomorrow on the for the occasion of Radhashtami in anticipation for the Warsaw Temple. Yeah, they're having their celebration tomorrow. So that's going to happen. When is it going to happen? 2 o'clock, I think. Yeah. 2 o'clock European time. Okay, so then one thing I wanted to say about this show and tell, some of you may feel hesitant to speak because English is not your first language, and that's understandable, and I want to encourage you. We can certainly, if you do want to say something and you'd rather speak in your mother tongue, probably we have somebody else with us who could translate. So we could do that. Or if, let's see, if we don't have someone who could translate, then maybe you can find someone who can translate, who could join us. I just want to, make it clear, this is not, we're not trying to monopolize. Only those of us who are comfortable with English language can speak. No, it's, we want to encourage all of you. And another thing I wanted to ask, I mentioned last time, and I think I gave the link for Srila Prabhupada Tributes, this book of tributes, of offerings, Vyasa Puja offerings to Srila Prabhupada, a free digital download. I just wondered if any of you tried, if you were able to download, if you had a chance to look at that. Yes, no, maybe not yet. Okay, Ananda Mai has downloaded. Yeah, a reminder that it's available. And you go to, what is it? SP Tributes. Should I write that again? There's a lot of chats here.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, if you will be so kind just to reshare it once again.
Okay. I'm not checking this, so it's by memory, but I think that's what it is. It could be org instead of com. Maybe I should check. sptributes.com. No, it may be. Yes. Yes, that's right. Okay, www.sptributes.com. And then you go to downloads, and there you go. And as they say in, where did they say it? Somewhere they say, and Bob's your uncle. Oh, what big news we have here. I just now looked. That today is the appearance day of Dharmagupta. Hare Krishna. Speech.
Guru Maharaj, it's
Oh, he just.
Oh. Great honor to be part of this wonderful family, and I want to thank you so much for all your mercy and all your whatever you're doing for all of us, and especially this Saturday Sangas are like a real new refreshment, especially in my spiritual life. So it's really coming back on track with spiritual practice and dāvī sadhana and everything. So really, thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for everything.
Jai. So how many decades have you passed now?
Almost 5.
Almost 5. Oh, you're still a young man then. Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just arrived yesterday to Croatia.
Oh, you're back in Croatia now.
Yes, first to Slovenia. I landed at Ljubljana, Slovenia. Spent some time there with Dara Chandrika and devotees. Then arrived here because I can't stay in Slovenia for more than 12 hours. Because Croatians are not welcome in Slovenia.
Oh, even if they come from Dubai.
They don't care.
Okay.
So for 2 weeks I'll be here.
And then what? Back to Dubai?
Yes.
Really?
Going
Wow.
back, just for a vacation.
Okay. All right. Nice.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol. Now, one other thing I wanted to speak briefly about. A few days ago, I watched a short presentation by Atul Krishna Prabhu. He is based in Mayapur. I don't know if he's there now, but he is one of the very active persons involved with the Shastra courses program. I never remember what it's called. There's an official group. They have an examination board or something. Anyway, he was giving a presentation about the Shastra courses and about how they're now planning a process by which to accelerate and expand the opportunity for devotees to get the qualifications, to get the degrees. Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma. And the essential idea they have is to make it possible to get these degrees simply by examination. And that they will give facility for preparing for the exams, including having all the questions on the exams available. Yeah, so you can read what are the exam questions and be prepared for them. Now, something like that suggests that the questions may not be so easy. And also, he said they will be closed book exams, which means the exams will be proctored or invigilated, as they say in England. Means someone local has to sit and be present and make sure that we are honest in our taking the exams. And he quoted Srila Prabhupada, who wrote in a letter in 1969, in which he's describing these Shastra levels. He refers to the 4 of them. And then he says something quite amazing. He says, I am hoping, I don't have the exact words, but essentially I'm hoping, I'm anticipating that by 1975, so that means 6 years from when he was writing this letter, that all my disciples will have completed Bhaktivedanta and now, that's not only sit, hold on to your seat, and will then be qualified to initiate disciples, initiate devotees. Hare Krishna. That was 1969, and he was anticipating 1975. And now it's 2020. Joy. We're almost there. No, we have a little ways to go. And Atul Krishna Prabhu gave some statistics. I don't remember any of the numbers, but relatively speaking, small numbers of devotees have completed even the Bhakti Shastri course. So I don't want to embarrass any of you here. Some of you already have done Bhakti Shastri, some of you maybe not. Maybe some of you have already started, have done part of it. So I just want to suggest, nowadays gurus don't actually give orders. They just give suggestions. And disciples don't ask for orders. They just ask the guru for his opinion. What is your opinion, Guru Maharaj? And you tell your opinion, and then they go find somebody else whose opinion they like more. Anyway, the point is, I want to encourage everyone to do Bhakti Shastri. And we're going to start keeping track. I have started a list. Actually, I have a list of shishyas, and I've made a column now in the list. Yeah, this is modern day organization spreadsheet. So I'm making a list of who has done Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhava, and like this we can progress forward. What do you think? Is this a good idea? We don't hear you.
Guru Maharaj?
Yes.
Yes. So Guru Maharaj, yes, thank you. That's a very good idea. And I would like to share, because it's so rare that devotees were those studies. I would like to share that Madhyana Lila just this year finished with Bhakti Vaibhava, if not Bhakti Vedanta. I think they finished the whole Srimad Bhagavatam with Adipurusha Prabhu. So
Yeah, that would be Bhakti Vedanta.
Yeah, so Madhyana Lila did it, yes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Now we have to get her teaching because that's the process. Prabhupada said, learn something and teach it to others. He said that to Burijan Prabhu. Yeah, so don't ask me if I've done Bhaktivedanta. But anyway, I did Bhakti Shastri. I did it the way that they're talking now about making it, that you just take exams. I did that back in, I don't know, 1990 maybe. I just sat down in Vrindavan for 1 month by myself, read all the books, and then took the exam. And that was it. I mean, that's kind of Rajaguna, but that's what I did. True confessions. Okay. Now you may ask, and I think it's a good question, certainly in these on-site courses where devotees come together and where you spend time and where you discuss and where you do little acting out dramas and where you write short essays and so on, is that all going out the window? I suppose Atul Krishna didn't speak about this. He had very limited time in his presentation, but I think the idea is there's some minimum standards, and Prabhupada never said there should be these sort of long drawn out programs. He indicated you study the books, you take an exam, pass. So of course there will continue to be courses that are more elaborate you can take. And there will always be so many different options. You know, for example, His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami in Mayapur, they've been running a course that goes for 12 years. That's his curriculum. You want to learn these books? Come and be here for 12 years. So that's what they're doing. So that's also there. Oh, Brihaspati's just saying all those classes are recorded. So you can spend 12 years listening to all those classes online. So anyway, that's my thought for now.
I can say something.
Yes? Mm-hmm.
When I was studying these courses in Vrindavan, I must recommend this. It was really a good time for me. This few years, I started from Bhakti Shastri, then we had separated Matajis and Prabhus, then Bhakti Vaibhava, and for that we were expected to have 80 degrees, 80% of exam. So it was quite high level. I just passed it, and I started Bhakti Vaibhava. It was for 4 years. Then we started Bhaktivedanta course, and I did only up to 9 cantos, and I was little finished. It was some complication. So. But what I want to say that Vrindavan and the atmosphere and the devotees and the Srimad Bhagavatam hearing, you know, for Paramahamsas, that was really amazing time, really amazing. I did. This was the first time they started Bhakti Vaibhava in ISKCON, so this was quite experimental time for all devotees, but it was really good. There was Adipurusha Prabhu was there, many devotees. There were 40 or 50 devotees all around the world. You know, it was quite nice association.
Wow.
And very
yes.
good.
So that is not to be that's not to be forgotten. That's important.
Yeah.
And that will continue. So you completed Bhakti Vaibhava.
Yes, Bhakti Vaibhava, and I started first year of Bhaktivedanta up to 9 cantos. That was the limit.
Very good.
Yeah. Maybe later I will continue if Krishna so desires.
I think Sugopi did Bhakti Shastri in Vrindavan.
Yeah, it's good time there.
Also, okay.
Quite intense, Maharaj.
Intense, huh?
Yes. Morning till night. I wish it was half day. Like morning till evening, and then some evening programs, and it would be like late evening. So
yeah. Okay, so we can discuss that more further, but what I suggest is everyone who hasn't done Bhakti Shastri, think about it. How could I do this? And you may first be thinking, well, there's no way. I'm too busy. There's no time. There's no opportunity for it. It's not accessible. There's no online. It's not going to happen. Well, maybe it's not going to happen right away, but if we want it, you know, where there's a will, there's a way, and so on. And I think it's nice. It's a nice way to focus on Srila Prabhupada's books and on Shastra.
I can add only that when we started this Bhakti Vaibhava, it was for 4 years. And less devotees were coming. So
yeah.
later we were only two Matajis, Prashanta Mataji and me, regulars, and a few devotees, maybe 3 devotees from the beginning. They were coming. Vrindavan is very demanding. This weather and noise and everything is quite intense there.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Takes a lot of determination.
Yeah. And blessings of the Guru. Thank you.
Okay, so I thought we can continue our discussion of the five dimensions or manifestations of the Dhama. You may remember we introduced 2 of these, and I'm following this nice book of Shivaram Swami, Navavraja Mahima. He's saying there's first of all, of course, Goloka Dham, and then there is Bhoma Vrindavan. Goloka Vrindavan, Bhoma Vrindavan. But before this, he's explaining that the Dhama is unlimited, which means, where is it? It's everywhere. And so then he says, rather than asking where is the Dhama, because the answer is going to be, well, it's everywhere. A better question to ask is, where is the Dhama manifest? How is the Dhama manifest? So it's manifest in beyond this world, and I was reading today about the 1/4 and 3/4 divisions of the totality. This idea comes from Rig Veda. Anyway, and so beyond the 1/4 is the 3/4 totality, and of course Goloka is the center of the whirl of the spiritual world, in which Krishna, with all his associates, are performing their ever joyful, ecstatic. This word ecstatic sometimes I feel is a bit overused. It's like, that was ecstasy. Yeah, so what else is new? That was an ecstatic meal. That was an ecstatic kirtan. Yeah, so what else is new? Everything becomes ecstatic. Anyway, that's another topic, but certainly the true meaning of ecstasy would be experienced in Goloka Vrindavan, also in Bhoma Vrindavan, but the technical meaning of ecstasy is an experience outside oneself. It's a going outside of oneself. And so there's another term, it was kind of coined by a scholar of religion, ecstasy, the feeling within, emotion within. Ecstasy, we might say, fits with the idea of the ashta-sattvika bhavas, which are the involuntary phenomenon of the body, which is experiencing intense devotional emotion. That was all just a footnote. Okay, so, and then we talked briefly about this idea of prakarta and aprakarta Dhama, the manifest and the unmanifest Dhama. And that word prakarta is or seems to be related to the word prakrita, and it's been suggested that it is from a Prakrit language rather than Sanskrit originally. That's a bit speculative, but in any case, could be. And we recalled the verse in Brahma Samhita, which kind of summarizes, it's actually describing what's called Shvetadvipa in the Brahma Samhita. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo, etc. How all the trees are wish-fulfilling trees. Walking is dancing, water is nectar, words are poetry, and the ground is all chintamani. Okay, so this we can appreciate as being applicable both in Goloka Dhama and in Bhoma Vrindavan. And then we have a third category, a third type of Dhamma, which Shivaram Swami refers to as Drishyamana Dhamma. The prefix, the word drish means seeing, arshana, drish, and so it has something to do with seeing, and as we'll see, it's about seeing the place in which Krishna appeared, despite his apparent absence, as being, in fact, that very place, and seeing the pastimes of the Lord happening, understanding that the pastimes of the Lord are ongoing. The Lord never leaves Vrindavan. He's always there. He quotes a verse from Shukadeva Goswami. This is as follows: Yavatsa padapadmabhyam sprishan aste ramapati tavat kalir vai pritiving parakrantung na cha ashakat. As long as Lord Sri Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, Rama Devi, touched the earth with his lotus feet, Kali was powerless to subdue this planet. Parakrantum na ashakat. Ashakat, like the word Shakti. So this would be a perfect tense. Ashakat was not able parakrantum, to conquer. Jiva Goswami, in his commentary on this verse, says that Krishna invoked a special power in order to depart from the world called his Antardana Shakti. Antardana, his going within power. And this is interesting to me. This would probably take a bit more research, but whether that term gets used with respect to Krishna's disappearance from the rasa mandala. Because, I mentioned this because Srila Kavi Karnapura explains in his Ananda Vrindavan Champu, explains that when Krishna disappears, he disappears into the hearts of all the gopis. With lots of interesting implications. For example, when they are imitating Krishna as they're looking for him, it's actually Krishna who is performing those pastimes. So is that Krishna's Antardana Shakti? Could be. So he manifests this Shakti, and by this, the wonders of Bhoma Vrindavan become covered. again, speaking of Kavi Karnapura, he emphasizes, I think I mentioned this last time, he emphasizes wonder, adbhuta, as sort of foundational to all the rasas. There's got to be wonder. There's got to be a sense of, wow. If that's not there, and it will be there whenever there's Krishna, wherever there's Krishna, there's going to be a lot of wonder. Because he is the most wonderful Lord. Shiva Amar says then, so what about this Vrindavan which we see today? I mean, there's so many things there. Yeah, we heard there's so much noise. Now there's so much construction there. The parikram path, I don't know, I just don't have the bhakti, I guess, but last time I was there, I wanted to go on the parikram path along the Yamuna. And I gave up after a very short distance because it's become like a highway. So I just wasn't feeling enough transcendental to do it. And it's, it's paved now. Before it was nice, soft sand. Anyway, so someone may ask, what is all this? And now we see, what do we see also? There are these thorny trees. One devotee in Mumbai I traveled with, we went together to Nagpur to meet some people about cows. We took a train, and he's very knowledgeable about Ayurveda, comes from a family 5 generations back, but also very knowledgeable about agriculture. And as we were going on the train, we were seeing these sort of scruffy small trees you see, which are very thorny. You see them all over Braj. And I asked him about these. He said, oh, those are, and I've forgotten the name now, but he knew the name of the tree. And he said those were imported from, I think he said from Africa, by the British, possibly. And then they, initially they thought they'd be great for some reason, I don't know what. And then they multiplied like weeds. And now they're all over India. There are these thorns, they have horrible, very dangerous thorns. So that's not even indigenous to India. So that where are the forests of Vrindavan? We may well ask. Because it's all we always hear, the forests of Vrindavan, the 12 forests of Vrindavan. And then you go to a forest of Vrindavan now, and they will tell you, this is Talavan. Okay, where are the Tala trees? And so on. And he says, its rooftops are terrorized by monkeys, and Krishna's legacy is a market commodity for shop owners to exploit. In short, Krishna's abode appears to be no more than one example of India's degradation into a mediocre tourist destination, hardly a replica of Goloka glistening with divine splendor. Where in Boma Vrindavan are the forests of desire trees, the rivers of nectar, the homes made from transcendental gem, the pristine land beyond illusion, the resonance of the flute? And then he says, actually, the Dhama is still there. But it's obstructed. And how is it obstructed? It's obstructed by the cloud of illusion. But the cloud of illusion is only obstructing from our side. It's not obstructing from Krishna's side any more than the clouds, which are increasingly covering our sky here. It was a bright, clear sky this morning. Now there's supposed to be possibly a storm later today. Just as the clouds here are not in the slightest affecting the sun, similarly, Krishna is not affected by any of this. And so, great souls who have completely given up worldly attachments, who have crossed beyond the jurisdiction of matter and been graced by the Lord's internal potency, continue to see the aprakata Dhama as it is, with love-anointed eyes and spiritualized forms. Perfected devotees perceive the true splendor of Vrindavan. I'm just now remembering one sadhu that His Holiness Radhanath Swami wrote about. I don't remember if it's in his book, but maybe. One sadhu that he came to know in Vrindavan, very austere sadhu and very aged sadhu, who was living sort of in somebody's hallway, I think, and he had deities, you know, it's in the book, okay. And Radhanath Swami was spending some time with him, and he wanted to help him because he was so frail. He was so aged. And every day this sadhu would go and he would fill a bucket with water from some pump, I think, and then bring it for his service to his deities. So one time Radhanath Swami started to do this for him. And this sadhu became extremely upset. He said, "No, don't take my service from me." There were like tears in his eyes. "Don't take my service." He was seeing Krishna present in Vrindavan, and this is his service. I also like to remember one lecture from His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. How many decades ago? I still remember it was in San Diego. Somehow I was in San Diego. And somehow he was also visiting there. And he gave a nice lecture. Something about Krishna Lila, and he was telling how we can enter into Krishna Lila. He said, we hear about Krishna Lila, and we keep hearing, and we reflect on it, and we speak about it, and we listen, and we speak, and we reflect, we remember. And as we become more absorbed in the Leela, he said, at one point, you will notice a gap. You'll see a gap in what is going on, and you'll understand this is where I fit in. This is where I jump in to be part of the Leela. I thought, okay, that's nice. Srila Prabhupada, Shivaram Swami is quoting, says, Srila Prabhupada speaks of this phenomenon. Actually, you can see that Vrindavan Dham, that place is a small spot of land, say about 84 miles area. But any person, and however atheistic he may be, and however nonsense he may be, if he goes to that place, he'll feel Krishna's presence. Still, simply by going there, he'll at once change his mind that here is God. He'll accept it. So this is, I jumped one paragraph here, but Shivaram Maharaj is explaining that still the Dhama is not completely inaccessible. It is accessible. That's why we go there. We do feel something. We feel presence of Krishna. Sometimes maybe something more, sometimes less. We go into a temple, we feel, yes, Krishna is here, and so on. We hear the kirtan. So many people in Vrindavan come to the Krishna Balaram Mandir because they're just, the Akhanda Kirtan that's going on there is just so attractive. And of course, Indra Prabhu was especially instrumental in bringing that spirit, which devotees have been, the last time I was there, I felt they're continuing that spirit, and so many people come. And they just gather around. Many people will sit down for a long time and join in the kirtan. Others, they will stand around and they'll observe and listen, and people will dance. It's so powerful. They say that Angreji Mandir, that's the Krishna Balaram Mandir, the temple of the Englanders, the Angreji, the Britishers, is the number 2 go-to temple in Vrindavan. The first one is Banke Bihari. Banke Bihari is kind of the local temple for many people. That's the temple to go to. But of course, Banke Bihari is this, what Prabhupada called circus, I think. They'll open the curtain for a few seconds, again close, again open, again close, open, close. And that's going on all the time. So the darshan is interesting. Krishna Balaram Mandir, darshan is there. And so people are attracted to come. So here, Shivaram Maharaj makes an interesting point. He says, Srila Prabhupada's comment confirms how the nature of the Antardhan Shakti allows us to feel Krishna's presence. So the Antardhan Shakti is not only the Shakti of making Krishna invisible, it's also a Shakti which is allowing to feel Krishna's presence. And this may be in subtle ways, he says. Prabhupada wrote to one disciple, as your devotional service becomes mature, you shall see Krishna more and more. And more, you shall realize the qualities of the Holy Land of Vraja. And then it goes on, unquote. The ability to feel the influence of the Dham varies in proportion to one's faith in and knowledge of Krishna and Krishna's abode. Now comes an interesting question. Is the energy that covers the aprakata dham material or spiritual? Because it is comprised, made up of Krishna's internal potency, it can act as either matter or spirit, depending upon the consciousness of the observer. So, of course, we know there's yoga maya and mahamaya, and they're both essentially the same, functioning in different ways for different purposes, or what's being said here, depending on who it is, what is our consciousness? It will be yoga maya or mahamaya. So someone may go to Vrindavan. Prabhupada mentions the atheist. Even the atheist. But someone may go and say, oh, here we can make good business. So that would be mahamaya. Let's see, I've not been checking this yet for a while. Oh, wait. Lots of happy birthdays for Dharmagupta here. What? Mona Valambini also has her birthday today. She's asking for blessings. Blessings, Mona Valambini, Devi Dāsī, Hare Krishna. Do we get a speech from Mona Valambini? No speech. She's shy. Okay. Oh, this question, let's jump out of Dham Kata. Well, let me say generally, one reason I'm talking about Dhama is because when we were compiling the book Pancharatra Pradipa back in the early 90s, we were discussing, and we include in the book that there are several types of seva which are related to deity worship. And this, by the way, is all, we heard about Tantra. This is all Sattvika Tantra, of course. The whole Pancharatrika system is sometimes referred to as Tantra. It's Sattvika Tantra. So one of the forms of service is Dhama Seva. And Dhama Seva, there's a variety of sorts of seva. Of course, if one is in the Holy Dham itself, physically, there's so many activities one can do, including cleaning the Dham, sweeping the street in the Dham is Dham Seva. Cleaning the Dham, well, these are the same, but so much garbage can be cleaned. And of course, serving the residents of the Dham, including, I have to say, the cows. So some devotees are doing that. They are serving the cows that are wandering in the streets. Here, my point is that another form of Dhamma Seva is Dham Smarana. One can remember the Holy Dham. Just remembering And together with that remembering can come longing for, longing, desiring to be at the Dham. That is also Dham Sevana. So we may not be physically in Vrindavan or Sridham Mayapur or Dvaraka or Mathura or Ayodhya. We may not be at these places, but we can hear about them. And of course, hearing about the Dhamma is part of Dhamma Sevana. Yeah, so all of these possibilities are there. Oh, now I'm seeing another. Okay, we'll get to that. No, I'll say it now. Avaduta Priya Mataji's birthday is today. Jai. Very good. Okay, does it mean that student has to go to a specific location to pass the exam? No. The plan is that you can take the exam. I mean, you could take it at home as long as you make arrangement that someone who is considered authorized is present when you take the exam. And this person who has to be present, yeah, there's two terms in English. One is proctoring, which means just being there and making sure that we're not cheating, that we're not peeking into the books for something. But no, this is part of what they want to say is let everyone pass these exams. Indira Lalita is saying, after having done Bhakti Shastri 10 years ago, should I now do the Bhakti Vaibhava course? Why not? One thing that Atul Krishna Prabhu mentioned is that the examinations are cumulative, which means not that we learn whatever is to be learned in Bhakti Shastri, and then we can go ahead and forget that and then do the Bhakti Vaibhava examination. No, there would be questions in the Bhakti Vaibhava examination which would be inclusive of the books that we've read for Bhakti Shastri, etc. So for Bhakti Vedanta also, everything would be included before that. Oh, we have a question from Ramananda Gopal from Singhachalam. Dear God family, are there any one of you who would serve as a pujari at Singhachalam? Please apply with Ramananda Gopal. Yes. Ramananda Gopal, are you there right now? So I was thinking he could give a little direct promotion. I guess not. Maybe next time he can give some more promotion. It's mentioned here from, I don't remember who is SKDD. There are also Bhakti Shastri courses meant for very busy people. You can do it in your own tempo. Yes, there's a variety of options. And Mamata Mai wants to know where we can do this. And I don't have answers for that. Sugopi says it's good online. Takes longer, but it's good. Okay, that conversation is there. Oh, here's Mona Valambini's excuse for not giving a speech. Old computer, no mic and video. Okay. Whoops, what happened? Just jumped. Is it, Mandali is asking, is it possible to enter the eternal Goloka Vrindavan or Mayapur via the medium of the heart while still alive in the present body? That was a private question. Whoops. My understanding is, well, there's a couple of things. One is yes, and the other is perhaps not exactly. In other words, we do hear from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that one who becomes fully qualified at the end of this life can then take birth in a Bhoma Vrindavan where Krishna is present. So that's one understanding. On the other side, the Gaudiya Vaishnava position regarding Jivan Mukti is that it's very much possible in this life. And of course, liberation, Jivan, life, Mukti, liberation. Liberation within this life, what does that mean? For a Vaishnava, it doesn't mean something impersonal. It means associating with the Lord. So here I think the crucial point would be that one is then associating with the Lord in what, geographical location, in a sense, doesn't matter anymore. Here's another birthday, Yashodarani. I think we have to do a big happy birthday song for everybody. Do we have any experts? Anyone want to lead us in singing happy birthday for all the devotees with birthdays? Volunteers? Don't volunteer if it's your birthday.
I can sing.
You can sing. Who's this?
Kavichandra does.
Oh, yes, please.
Happy
With your flute.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear all the
brothers and sisters.
brothers and sisters.
Happy
birthday to you.
Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to you. Okay.
Yeah. In India, isn't it the tradition that when it's your birthday, you serve everyone else in the family?
Yeah, like generally in our culture, in Bengali culture, payash is made, payasham, like sweet rice.
Oh.
That is made, yeah, and offer it to Lord and then have it. That is a special culture, and I don't know about serving others, but yeah, others are like, obviously they are like other way around. One gets service when it's a birthday.
Yeah, no, as I understand, because the whole idea is you're serving others to get their blessings, for them to feel inclined to give their blessings. So, yeah, like that. Okay. Well, we're going rather slowly through the 5 Dhammas, but anyway, there's no rush, I think. I want to also request continued prayers for Sundar Gopal Prabhu in Ljubljana. He's still in very serious condition in the hospital, and all prayers are welcome. Yeah. And I had the idea, since Radhashtami is coming up, to read something about some of the places in Braja associated with Srimati Radharani. And then I became bewildered because there's so many, just Varshana, there's so many Leela Sthanams associated with Radha and the gopis. But anyway, now Krishna in the form of time is suggesting that we proceed each our own ways. And I want to thank you all and wish you all the best for this coming week, for the coming festivities. I think it's also Sita Thakurani's appearance, Advaitacharya's wife's appearance on Sunday. So there you are. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Haribol.
Himachalam and Munchan Dhoti.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj.